Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Level 1 podcast. Actually, this is the last podcast of the week, even though it's only Wednesday. Yeah, it's kind of a weird week this week with all the special stuff that's been going on. And we're going to talk about some of that on today's show, including what happened with the Wings of Redemption interview, what's been the follow-up and fallout from it, and what about the future. In addition, we'll get caught up on all the playthroughs that I'm currently working on to talk a little bit about a schedule, because people have been saying, hey, are you going to be playing Outer Worlds 2? What about Dispatch? And what about this and that? And I have to be as transparent as I can with you. Right now, I'm so busy with everything, I can't play anything new. We'll also talk a little bit about the upcoming Halloween marathon and some game news. Did you hear that Capcom is doing incredibly well? But why Capcom and not everyone else? In a time when we keep hearing doom and gloom stories about giant game publishers and creators and developers laying people off left and right, why is Capcom hitting that successful stride? We'll analyze this and more. So sit back and relax. It's time for an awesome episode of the Level 1 podcast here on DSP Gaming. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 podcast returning. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of October, 2025. Yeah. October flew by, did it not? It certainly didn't seem like this had been a full month. The next thing you know, you turn around, you look at the calendar, and you're like, what the? Halloween is nearly here. Only 3 days left in the month, and that means gameplay, new release fighting game stuff, and then marathon. Pretty crazy. But I hope that you're all doing well, and I hope that you're ready to chill and relax with me here on the show. So thanks for being here. Let's talk. We got a lot to talk about, do we not? I do believe that we do. I hope we get more attendance. I don't know what's going on today. I'm taking a look, and on YouTube, the attendance is pathetic. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just a YouTube thing, because I just noticed that we just fluctuated and lost a whole bunch of viewers out of nowhere, so maybe it is a YouTube thing. Hopefully you guys aren't having technical issues. It's nothing on my end. Everything looks good, and hopefully you guys are here to sit back and enjoy. This will be the last formal podcast of the week, and what I mean by that is, yes, we're going to have a couple of chill sessions. Like tomorrow, there's no podcast, but we'll have a little bit of a chill hangout before we start with the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. And Friday, it is my annual Halloween marathon. We won't do a formal podcast, but we'll do kind of a first video, first hangout. I'll reveal my Halloween costume and all of that. So, I hope that you guys are ready to relax. All right? Let's talk. Let's get caught up a little bit here. First off, good morning to everyone here on the stream. How's everyone today? I hope you're doing well. Who do we got? We got Mateo Jr. and Clout Siffler, Chris, Alpha Gun, Copium on the YouTube side. We got Boom Arm defeats DSP. Hell yeah. Recovering Detractor, Ortega, RGB Lover, and more over on Kick. What's going on, Game Boy? Good to see you this morning. Username already taken. What's up? High Tech Operative. What's up? Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for being here and chilling with me here on the show. The way I see it, we got three major things to talk about today. Number one, how did that Wings of Redemption interview go on Monday? What's the common feedback and consensus about it? And what is it going to result in. That's all number one. Number two, we're going to talk about all the current playthroughs that I'm doing, where I am with them, and what that means for the schedule. Because there are new games releasing, but the fact that I am still playing so many games and juggling them at the same time means that it's too difficult for me to really take on other new games. Like, how am I going to take on more games, play each game once a week and beat them in 4 months? Obviously, that doesn't make sense. But the silver lining here is that the month of November may be actually one of the slowest game release months I've ever seen for the fall. It looks like this year, all game publishers are insanely afraid of Call of Duty. Like, no one even wants to release their game remotely near the release window of Call of Duty, which is smack dab in the middle of November. So because of that, it looks like we may have a good amount of time to focus on the games that I'm already playing, get through them, and then take on some other games and projects as appropriate. So maybe all right, but we'll talk about that for a little bit. Also, this morning, Capcom released game sales numbers and reported huge sales surges, giant profits, success across the board. But wait a minute. According to the industry gurus and big wigs, I thought that gaming was down. I thought the bubble had burst. I mean, Phil Spencer himself of Xbox said, oh, we're seeing a gaming decline and the game sales just aren't like they used to be. So then why is Capcom so successful? We're going to take a look at their game franchises and their sales numbers. We'll try to see if we can figure this out. In reality, I actually don't think it's that hard to figure out if you have a brain between these ears, if you have like a functioning, intelligent organ in your head. It's not rocket science. But apparently the people who are running most of these game companies today just aren't very fucking smart. Okay, so this should be a good show, and I hope that you guys are chilling, relaxed, and ready for a nice one. So how are we doing? I hope you're doing well. The lights are not off, Game Boy. We have a smoke-themed lighting today. It's supposed to be like fog moving in, like a spooky fog. So it's not ultra bright or anything today, but as you can see, there is indeed lighting going on behind me. It's just more nuanced today. Final few days of Halloween festivities, meaning today, tomorrow, and Friday, we will have Halloween-themed stuff. And then when I come back from my break, because I'll have Saturday off, on Sunday, we're back to regularly scheduled stuff. So we'll go back to more generic animations and sound effects. The background will be adjusted for Thanksgiving month. It is American Thanksgiving in November. And so we're going to have some fun little decorations, new animations here on the frame for the month of November. The one thing that we need to figure out, which honestly at this point, I'm not sure what really direction to go with it, okay? What should we do for the marathon that I'm going to do at the end of November, notably on Black Friday? You don't know when Black Friday is? It is the Friday after American Thanksgiving. And this year, American Thanksgiving, where the hell is my calendar? What is this? Stupid Windows updated and apparently doesn't even show you the calendar right away anymore. It looks like American Thanksgiving. Dude, what is with the calendar? They changed it. What is going on? Wow, the Windows calendar is literally worthless. Well, forget it. I'm just going to search it. All I wanted to do is click on the Windows calendar, click on November, and see what day Thanksgiving was. It doesn't even work anymore. How do you take a functionality of something and completely destroy it? Okay, so it is Thursday, November 27th, okay? The very end of November, the final Thursday of November, is American Thanksgiving. But that means that my final marathon of that month will be on the final Friday, which would be Friday the 28th, which is good. It'll be exactly around a month away from the Halloween marathon, okay? So, what would you guys like to do for our Black Friday marathon this year? Traditionally, back in the day, that was actually the day when I usually did a giant Ask the King, meaning this would be like a super episode where I would answer a ridiculous amount of questions and do Q&A, because back in the day, I didn't used to do interactive streams. It was just me making content as if I were sitting here alone playing a video game. And so Ask the King was the opportunity where people would be able to step up and ask questions and we'd have some interaction. Obviously, Ask the King doesn't exist anymore. There's no point for it to exist because now we talk every day, right? So a couple of years there, we did an ad apocalypse marathon. What that was that people would nominate old school ads from back in the day, and we would sit there and react to them all day. And it was actually quite funny. There'd be like themed ads of certain kinds of things at different eras, like the 80s, then the 90s, the 2000s. And watching old advertisements could be absolutely hilarious, especially some of the ones that are like international outside of the US where they go crazy with their advertising. So that was fun for a couple of years, but then that felt kind of played out. There's also been years when I did gaming marathons. For example, Black Ops Friday, where I would play Black Ops, whatever the new one was. This year it would be Black Ops 7, and we do themed objectives. Like maybe for like an hour or two, I challenge myself to snipe exclusively and see how well I can do. Then maybe I go for a big melee run for like an hour and see how well I can do, right? Handguns only, stuff like that. We've done that too, okay? So the thing is, we've done many different things on Black Friday, but never has it been like ultra consistent. Halloween is always consistent. It's horror games. It's me in a costume. It's a lot of fun. Christmas, always consistent. I'm wearing ugly Christmas sweaters and other attire. I'm drinking. We're doing some holiday-themed stuff, gaming. It's always a good time. But it's really the Black Friday stuff that's never really set in stone. And so, I think what we need to do is we need to try to figure this out. Now would be a great time to start talking about it, because if we can figure out roughly in the next week what we want to do, that means we could start to set it up, promote it, get people hyped for it. I don't want to wait till the last minute to get this figured out, because then people won't really care. I'd much rather have it set ahead of time so everyone can get hyped for it. Okay? So, what do you guys think for Black Friday? Let's start talking about it. We've had a few ideas. One of the ideas was someone said do a retro gaming marathon, notably like old Nintendo games. Now, I'd be down for that. You know, I could play classic games like Ninja Gaiden, Super Mario, Zelda, Metroid. The thing is, I'm not sold that that's going to entertain an entire group of people. I feel like that might work for a small group of people, but is that going to be enough to entertain an audience for an entire marathon? Will people actually show up and engage and support with an all retro game style marathon? I don't know. That's definitely something to consider, though. If not, let's say we want to do something gaming. What about the Black Ops idea? Do you think that people would show up if I said, I'm literally going to play, Black Ops all day? I'm not so sure. Or maybe what we could do is like you start with Black Ops, you take a break, you do something else in between, then you go back to Black Ops, maybe taking some breaks in between and breaking it up. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Recovering Detractor says a DSP tries it marathon with a little bit of gaming sprinkled in. Well, that's a crazy idea. Obviously, if that were the case, it wouldn't be all food, right? Like maybe we would do one or two DSP tries its that are food related, but maybe we do DSP tries its of products. And I guess the question would be, what would the products be that you would want me to try? It's an interesting idea, maybe something very different. Huh. Maybe an all multiplayer day. Supportive Support says you could do Black Ops, you could do the Mortal Kombat collection. See, I would say, all right, but just two games, maybe it could work. You split it up. See, here's the other factor that we have to bring into consideration here. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection comes out tomorrow. We're going to talk about that because that's part of my gaming schedule for the week. There's no guarantee this collection is going to be good, is going to work well, and people are going to want to play it. It might be dead in a week. And I hope it's not. Like, no exaggeration. I want it to be good. I want the collection to work well. I want the collection to have competition online and be fun to play, but it could literally be a dead collection. It's being made by the same people who've made other collections in the past. No crossplay. Previous games that came out from this company did not have all the proper online features for them to actually have longevity. Basically, people would buy their collections, play them for a month or two, and then drop them immediately because they said this sucks. I don't know what's going to happen with this collection at all. Also, you got to factor in the games in this collection are incredibly old. You're talking Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3, 4, and Trilogy. These games haven't been actively competitively played in a very long time, and anyone who does play them competitively probably is a holdover from the 90s who, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jason Wilson is about to have a field day. For those who don't know, Jason Wilson was a, back in the day, really good old school Mortal Kombat player. He also was a very good Street Fighter player. Later on, he ended up running tournaments and even having his own arcade. Okay? So he basically was one of the best old school Mortal Kombat players of all time. At one point, I think he had like the record for winning most tournaments in like Mortal Kombat 2. And he single-handedly proved that game can only be played with 2 characters competitively. He's like Mr. Old School Mortal Kombat, right? So guys like him, he's going to have a ball with this collection for like a day, and then probably no one's going to play it anymore. That's what I mean. Like, I would love to say, hey, let's keep this collection in the rotation as a regular thing, but I don't know if it's even going to work. If they had said, oh, there's cross-play and all these cool features, I would be like, oh, excellent, but they didn't say that. Kind of stupid. I wish they did. So let's see what happens. That's a good idea, though. Like, maybe all multiplayer. My problem there is that, sadly, I just don't think there's enough consistent multiplayer games right now to maybe do an all multiplayer day. Like, you said, Call of Duty. Yes. A segment of Call of Duty would work. The Mortal Kombat collection. Okay. If the Mortal Kombat collection is still working and has an active player base, then sure. But what else? Battlefield, forget. Battlefield, I stopped playing after 3 sessions. No one cares about Battlefield unless you're this really hardcore team-based player and you're grinding away for a league or you're in a team or something. It doesn't matter. Casual play of that game is never going to work because I can't even interact with you guys. It's too intense. It has too much attention that it demands, and the matches are way too long. I don't even get to talk with you guys when I play Battlefield. The game is dead on arrival for me. I'm not saying it's dead on arrival for every creator, but for my style of content, it doesn't work. Okay? So, what else? Right? Like, what else could we possibly do for that day? Are there other multiplayer games you think that would be interesting? I don't know of them. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. My Switch 2 is FUBAR'd when it comes to the internet, so I can't really play multiplayer games online because someone said, what about Kirby Air Riders? Yeah, I can't. I'm serious. I'm not going to buy it. There's no point in buying Kirby Air Riders because the vast majority of gameplay of the game is online, and my fucking Ethernet doesn't work. Stupid. So here's what we need to do. Let's start talking about this. Let's try to figure this out. What do we want to do for the Black Friday Marathon? Black Ops Friday, Multiplayer Friday, Retro Friday. What are we going to do? Let's get the discussion going so that we can actually have it locked in and planned. And that way we can work on promoting and getting excited for it, you know. Clout Sifler says you can get a USB to Ethernet adapter for Switch 2 and be wired again. Yeah, but Clout, we don't know what the problem is. We don't know if the problem is the dock. We don't know if the problem is the console itself. I could buy the adapter and it still doesn't work, you know? So anyway, let's figure this out. This is not something we're going to figure out today, but let's start the discussion so that we can actually start to plan and hype it up, okay? I'd love to hear your feedback today over the course of the day of what you would like me to do on Black Friday. Cool. Couple quick shout outs, and then we're going to begin. I want to talk a little bit about how things went on Monday with the interview with Wings. All right. I definitely want to talk about the game schedule, and I want to talk about Capcom. So let's get going. Couple quick shout outs before we get to that. Our first support of the day. Okay, so someone tipped $2, and they're talking about my Pokemon playthrough in regards to Pokemon Legends Z. What did I just click on? Pokemon Legends ZA, which we hit a kind of a milestone of development yesterday in the game. Okay, so for those who didn't see yesterday's Pokemon Legends ZA gameplay yet, there was a weird story development. And here's the premise of the story. You're in a town, a city called Lumios, and in this city, there is a league. And this league is a bunch of trainers that are competing against each other. And there's a ranking system where you're ranked from level Z to A, Z being the lowest entry level, and A being like master level. So you do these duels, and if you beat the person who's also of your same rank, let's say you were both rank Z, and you do a duel, Pokemon duel. Whoever wins the duel advances to the next rank. So instead of being Z, you now be rank Y. So, stands to reason you need to win over 20 battles, for each letter of the alphabet to get to rank A. And then I guess you're like considered the highest rank or whatever, right? Sounds like an interesting premise. Well, all of a sudden, yesterday as I'm playing, the game decides you're now going to fight someone who's rank F while you're rank like W. Huh? So you do the fight, and you win. And the game says, oh, you're now rank F. You just skipped like 16 ranks. What? So it's like the whole premise of what the game was setting up with the whole name and everything, it doesn't even matter. So it was a weird thing that happened. So what this person is basically saying is there's a reason for it, and you'll see later. It actually has something to do with the story that it happened like that. What I was saying was, I feel like they started with this premise and idea, and then they said, well, wait a minute, if we make the whole game just doing these ranking battles, it's going to be super boring when you hit a certain part. So this person also says in their tip, basically, when you get to that part of the story, you've hit around the halfway point of the story. And right now, my playthrough is around 12 hours in, maybe a little more. It's like 13, 14 hours in. That makes sense, because people were saying the game's about 30 hours long. So for the halfway point for that to happen and it like jumps ahead, I guess that makes sense. Fair enough, I guess, right? So anyway, I am continuing to like Pokemon. We're actually going to talk about that in a moment, that the Pokemon playthrough is actually doing very, very well. And I'm pleased with how the Pokemon playthrough is doing. So, excellent. Okay, thank you for that. Abdullah here, 28 months as a member, says, are you getting Kirby Air Riders? Well, we were just talking about that. I don't think so. Why? Because Kirby Air Riders is primarily meant to be a game you play online against others racing. Number one, both Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds did not work for my content. People within a few streams found them boring. To be honest, the only reason that Mario Kart World lasted as long as it did was because of the trolling. I feel like if people weren't trolling me when I played it, it wouldn't have lasted a month. Okay? Kirby Air Riders lasted 3 streams, and people were bored to tears and said, stop playing, or maybe it was 4 streams. So, number one, I don't believe that racing games like that are going to work for my content. People don't like them. Number two, my internet doesn't work properly on my Switch 2. The Ethernet doesn't work. So without being able to have an Ethernet connection for internet, it's going to be laggy, and there's no way I'm going to be able to play the online play anyway. So, sadly, it makes no sense. Sucks. I wish that my Switch hadn't had an issue, but this is the second console in a row I bought from Nintendo that's fucked up. My Switch 1 bricked itself overnight with me doing nothing wrong. My Switch 2 has its Ethernet not working when it sat there for 2 months untouched, not even used. Garbage. It sounds to me like their manufacturing quality has gone way the hell down, is what it sounds like. Okay. Wow. I received, ladies and gentlemen, an incredibly generous $100 tip. $100 tip. That is incredibly loud, isn't it? I think it's too loud. Hold on. That sounds too loud to me. I gotta lower it. Oh my God. I'm lowering the volume right now. Okay. So, a $100 tip. This is early support for Silksong. I am loving the playthrough, and I hope that you can 100% it. Well, the thing is, I don't know what is required for 100% completion. I don't know if the way that the game is set up, if there's anything that you can lock yourself out of. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know the game well enough. If there's nothing that you can lock yourself out of, then maybe I would go for it. But, like, for example, apparently there was a secret ending where if you completed if you had the infection for the witch crest in your body, and then you went and you beat the game, then apparently you get a secret ending. Well, I didn't do that, and I'm past the point of no return for that. So I can't actually get that. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know if you can get 100% completion. What I am trying to do is basically get every upgrade, but I think there may be one mask piece at one point that I missed. I'm not sure. And I don't know if the game will ever give you the ability to see where the mask pieces are. So because of that, I don't know how it works. But let me put it this way. I love the game enough that I am doing all the content, right? I'm trying to do every optional boss fight that's available to me. I try to do every optional dungeon and area and thing. I've tried to miss nothing. And we're at that point where I think that all that's left is to beat the what do they call? I don't know what they're called. The darkness infection areas. You have to kill 12 of them or whatever to get a mass piece. So there's that. And then I'm trying to think what else you can do. Like, what's left? There's not much left. We've done almost every single quest in the game. We just got the final sword upgrade. So now I have the most powerful, well, I say sword, it's the needle. I now have the most powerful version of the needle available in the game. So I guess we'll see. But hey, I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to stick with it. We're going to beat it. We're going to see the true ending and all of that, and I'm excited for that. Okay? Supportive support, thanks for 100 kicks. That's our first kicks of the day over on Kick, and I appreciate that. Yeah, there's definitely something weird with YouTube view count today. I was just sitting here, I'm just doing the show normally. The YouTube views went up to 200, then they went down to 150, and now they're up to 182. They're like this. What the fuck's going on? Something's up with YouTube view count today. I guess I'll just stop paying attention to it then. So it doesn't distract me. Here, let me click this instead. Now I don't have to look at it being all stupid. Supportive support is dropping kicks. We got 3 groups of kicks and climbing now. Thank you, supportive support. We're up to 105 and climbing. Thank you, supportive support. Appreciate that. All right. So, let's talk about Monday. Let's talk about the Wings of Redemption interview that happened right here on the Level 1 podcast. First of all, that podcast obviously did incredibly well views-wise. We had, at one point, over 1,000 viewers between Kick and YouTube watching live at once. And as you know, I rarely break 1,000 viewers ever these days. Like, for gameplay, like, never. But if I do a special event, an interview or whatever, it's very rare when I would do that, and we did. We had over 1,000 viewers, which was awesome. The interview itself with Wings lasted about 2 hours, and we covered a wide variety of topics, including a little bit of our history and similarity being YouTubers around the same time frame and the levels of things that have happened to us over the years, including trolling, but also how we dealt with places like Machinima, YouTube, Twitch, and more. We talked about gaming in general, Battlefield particularly, which is the game that Wings has been playing recently. We talked about how I feel that Wings sadly gets baited by a lot of his viewers and or even moderators into giving clip farming content. I tried to give him some advice about his streams and about his health. He talked to me about things like WWE champions and pro wrestling and things like that. And overall, I think it was a pretty good interview. I actually feel like, in regards to that interview, okay, unlike other interviews where I had to like prepare for them and I had to go into them with like set stuff, that interview, outside of me just watching a few detractor videos about Wings ahead of time, and you might say, well, why did you do that? Because it gave me an idea of what the current public perception is of Wings of Redemption. If I hadn't done that, I would be going in blind and not knowing what people are talking about, how they're perceiving him, and I wouldn't know how to help him, right? By knowing what people are saying about this guy, by watching a few detractor videos, it allowed me to figure out, hey, this is what's going on with this guy and what people are saying, so maybe we can get around that or help him with some things that are going negative for him, right? And I think it went well in that regard. I think like that interview, 2 hours, okay? It went like this. Like, it didn't feel like 2 hours. It felt like 20 minutes. It felt like we had just sat down to talk, and 2 hours had passed. And to be honest, I think it would have even gone longer, but I told him I wanted to do 2 hours. I didn't want the interview to go on forever. And I want to give you guys a taste of what that kind of an interview could be to see if you liked it. What if I had done it and everyone said, oh, this sucked ass? Well, then I didn't want to go any longer. The thing is, you also don't want to give too much in one go. If people really liked what they saw, then you're going to want more. You're going to ask for more. And then I can plan on, working on giving you more. So that interview, for the record, okay, so far over 14,000 views in climbing. Hasn't even been live for 2 days yet. And that's a great viewership for something on this channel. All right. So that's excellent. And thank you guys who have watched it and checked it out. It is, by the way, it's available pure archive on demand. I just left the stream as is. I didn't do anything. You can just watch it right now and enjoy it for what it is, archived on the channel. You don't have to look for videos that I saved and split up. It's just all right there. And you can watch it and enjoy it. Okay? So, in general, what's the feedback that I'm receiving? I'll be honest with you, overwhelmingly positive. Okay? Overwhelmingly positive feedback. People are saying, best interview you've ever done. We want more. You could basically do a series like this where it's very worthwhile for everyone watching. Because, for example, I could just do another interview with Wings where it's just us talking again, and we just hit upon various topics or whatever. Or we could actually do something that's basically targeted. Maybe we have a set topic or topics that we want to talk about that we can both add something to from our unique perspectives or our unique takes on that topic, okay? So that's interesting because I think shooting from the hip, just talking about whatever worked, but also we could actually have targeted discussion about important things too. It could be anything. It could be about the gaming industry. It could be about content creation, Twitch or YouTube, whatever, right? It could really be about anything, right? So that's cool that I got that feedback. Now, the other feedback I got is, oh, you could do a whole bunch of stuff. You could do gaming and stuff too. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that the gaming aspect would even work. And if you want to know why, it's because, as I've been saying recently, audiences want to tune into streams where the streamer themselves can be an interactive part of it and interact with those who are watching and supporting. If I'm on a stream with Wings of Redemption and we're playing a game together like Battlefield, guess what we're going to be doing the entire time? Communicating and talking about Battlefield and playing Battlefield. We're not going to be reading our chats. We're not going to be doing shout outs. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be paying any attention to you. Instead, it's just going to be us interacting to try to win. And that's really not where content creation succeeds for guys like us in 2025. I'm just going to be honest. That's what I tried to relay to him in the interview. You're trying to play Battlefield and you're grinding like it's 10, 15 years ago and like your audience cares if you're a top level player. They don't. People are not tuning into a Wings of Redemption stream or a DSPGaming stream to see us be top level players in anything. Okay? They're tuning in because they want to see us have a good time, interact with an audience, right? And have that level of a little bit of social interaction, but at the same time put out something entertaining. It's not going to be being hardcore dedicated to whatever we're playing anymore. Like, to be honest, like maybe there was a time ages ago where if I grinded in Street Fighter and I did really well, people would care. And maybe there was a time ages ago if Wings grinded so hard in FPS games, people would care. But I just don't think that that's the case anymore. In the case of, say, for example, Call of Duty, right? I think that Call of Duty works because it's fast-paced action, it's shorter matches, you can play it in various different ways and be successful. Like one match, you could go all melee build, running around stabbing and getting all the buffs and bonuses. Next match, you can just snipe. Next match, you go with an LMG. Next match, all shotties. And it actually works. It's entertaining in that regard. It's a challenge and stuff. But also, I can be talking with you guys, interacting with you. It's not like that with Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? And same thing, if I was trying to do teaming up with him and playing, I don't think that would work. But I think what we did, a show where you hang out, you talk about various topics, whether it's targeted or not, that's what people kind of want to see. Because that's not what you see. What do you see every day when you're tuning into me? Me talking about topics, playing games, and interacting with you. What do you not see? Me interacting with somebody else. So give people what they want because it's not the common thing, right? But I think the key here, this is my perspective now, is to not do it often. Don't do it 10 times a week. Don't even do it once a week. Do it every once in a while. Maybe every once in a while, you say, hey, I get together with Wings and we sit down and we do a show that's just a, shoot the shit show and see how people like it. Okay? Now, you might say, what is Wings' take on this? I have no idea. He told me he liked the show. He liked doing it. Since then, I tried asking his opinion and stuff, and he hasn't really said much. Basically, at first he was like, just so you know, I don't really like talking via chatting like this behind the scene. I just don't like that. And I was like, well, that's fine. If that's the case, I'd like to talk to you to get your thoughts about how it went. What are your viewers saying about how it went? Did they like it? Has it benefited you on your own streams? Are you getting anything positive out of having done this? Whether it's just we chat on Discord or we chat on XDMs or we have a call. I just want his feedback, his actual reaction to what happened. So far, I haven't gotten it. I've asked and I haven't really gotten a response. But I think that's par for the course for Wings. That's how he is. He literally brushes you off. He puts it off. Then maybe he'll respond in 5 days. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Okay. So I guess we'll see. So let's find out when I finally get a response. Okay. Personally, like I said, I think doing stuff every once in a while with him might work. I don't think that doing stuff regularly, it's going to work at all, right? Okay. So let's see what happens. I'll let you know. But I'd still like your feedback on what did you think? Did you like it? And do you want to see more? Like maybe every once in a while we have a show together where we just sit down and we talk. There's a special edition of the Level 1 podcast with Wings as a guest, and we just get caught up on what's going on with him, and we talk about various topics and go from there, right? Because this is the thing. A lot of people are saying it's not, just understand, this is not something new. Like, this is how he is. He isn't regularly available. He doesn't respond a lot. But then all of a sudden he'll get excited, and all of a sudden the excitement will die out again. Again, I don't know the guy. You guys know him way better than I do. If that's the case, then I guess that makes sense. And go from there. So I don't know. But let me put it this way. I enjoyed doing it. I would do it again. I just don't want to do it all the time. It's just like other things that I tried this year. Smart Guys was working until it became a weekly thing and too common, and it got boring. Building Legos was working until we got to the third major Lego build and it got boring, right? So to do something like this every once in a while, I think it would go well as long as it's not too often. The thing is, you need buy-in. And it's funny because I will directly answer something that was asked to me after Wings had left. Someone asked me the question, Bill, would you ever start to do something regularly with Jordy? Would you consider doing a regular show with Jordy? Like I even said, you know what is catchy to me? Wings and the King. I don't know why that's catchy, but I think Wings and the King. That sounds like a good name for a show, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I thought that sounded pretty catchy. I was like, that could be a good show where it's just us hanging out every once in a while. Wings and the King, right? But there is one big factor, the big elephant in the room, okay? There's a reason why I can't really or don't want to even consider committing to anything like that. And here's what it is. At the very end of the interview with Wings, I asked him the question, are you done with Lolcow Live? And his answer was, I'm done with it now, but I might go back to it if I need the money. To which case, I just got to shake my head and be like, well, if that's the case, then how could I ever commit to do something with Wings? Because at any moment, he could decide he's not making enough money. And because of that, he could just turn tail and run and say, I'm done with this. I'm done with the show with you because we're not making enough. I got to go back to what makes me money, acting like a complete clown on myself and going back to Keemstar. And I don't want to put myself in a position where I put time, effort, money, and other things into a show. The show is successful, but he still decides that he wants to run away and go back to Lalcow to make bank, and this leaves me high and dry. I hope that makes sense to you guys, that I wouldn't want to do that. You know what I mean? Plus, as you know, I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I don't want to say to you guys, oh, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's start up a show. And then the show gets canceled because he wants to go back to Keemstar. All right? So, I understand. Swaggy P says, well, he just doesn't want to close the door on easy money. No, I totally understand that. And listen, the way that he explained it to me, all right, made sense. Here's what he told me in the interview, okay? He said, basically, because he did what he did for the year and a half, he degraded himself, he embarrassed himself, he publicly made a spectacle of himself, he made enough money that now he has security where he could take time away to figure out what he wants to do. He wants to build his channel back up to be self-sufficient. Right now it's not, but he has the time to work on it. If he didn't have the Lalcow money, he wouldn't have been able to do that. And now I kind of get that. He even said something I respect him for a lot. He said, I don't want to be the guy that as I get older, because I have all these health problems, now I got to go to the government and I have to live off government funding and government assistance to pay for everything. I want to be able to support my family myself. And that's what that Lalcow money was for, was to be that nest egg that he can draw upon to pay for himself as he gets older and has health problems and his wife has health problems and everything. So he doesn't have to go on government assistance. Okay. 1,000,000%. All right. 1,000,000%. I understand that. Okay. 1,000,000%. I can't even argue with that. I can't dispute it. I can't. I get it. To him, it didn't matter that he embarrassed himself and degraded himself and lowered himself and made him look like a clown, because he made the money that it helps his family. All right. I get that. I guess I'm happy that I'm in a life position and a work position where I don't have to do that and I'm still successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be in the situation he was in, but I'm not. And I'm grateful for that you guys come by and engage and support with my content enough that I'm not having to be a clown somewhere in order to try to make ends meet. In fact, I'm doing better right now than I have been doing in many, many, many years. And it's doing what I want to do. The content I want to do, not self-deprecating, embarrassing bullshit that's for fucking morons, but instead gameplay, hangout sessions, social interactions, meaningful content. Okay? That's excellent. So again, every day I want you to understand how grateful I am to all of you for allowing me to do what I love for a living, for letting me live the dream. Things are going well right now. Okay? Thank you for that. Okay? But basically, yeah, like that, what gets me is I wish that Wings could be in a position where he could say, you know, I really don't want to go back to Lalcow, and I'm never going to. But he can't. He's afraid that at any moment, the rug can be pulled out from under him and he's just not making enough money on his channel. And then he has to go back to Lalcow. So I don't know. I'm trying to help him. I gave him advice. I said, dude, you got to stop playing Battlefield. You tell you right now, your audience is not going to support it. What does he do? He went right back to playing Battlefield. He's been playing it for 2 straight days and his streams aren't doing well. I'm just being honest. Like, I think one stream he made like $60, then he made like $90, and then one stream he made like nothing. It's like, you're playing Battlefield. You're just talking with your group. No one on chat is engaged. No one's going to care. I think he'll probably do better when he goes back to Call of Duty in a 2.5 weeks or so. I think then he'll do better. But right now, playing Battlefield ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Buckwell says, you're not in a position to give advice. Buckwell, my streams do well. I hit my goals. I exceed my goals. I'm doing way better than he is on his streams. I'm in a great position to give advice because I'm where he wants to be doing content. If he could be doing what I'm doing right now on his gameplay streams, he'd be ecstatic. So what the fuck are you talking about? In what realm of reality do you think I'm doing poorly? Please explain how you think I'm doing poorly for myself right now. Dude, yesterday I sat here for 3.5 hours just shooting the shit with my audience, playing Pokemon. And I made almost $400 playing Pokemon. The point is, my content is working, his isn't, and I'm trying to help him. But he has to also be willing to want to listen to help. And I don't think that right now, like, I don't think that he thinks that anything that I told him is going to really help him, honestly. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know what he's doing ain't working with the Battlefield stuff. I know that for a fact. He needs to change it up and do something different. He's doing Dark Souls streams, and he calls them depression streams, and he makes more money on that than he does playing Battlefield. Okay, so why are you playing Battlefield? There you go. Anyway, I liked how it went on Monday. Everyone else seems to be of the consensus they like how it went on Monday. I agree with all of you, but you have to understand that basically he's not the kind of guy that's going to jump at something like that. He's very slow to even respond to stuff. I'm hoping to hear feedback from him to say, hey, either he liked it or he really hated it or whatever it is. I want to hear feedback from him. He seemed to be very positive on Monday, but sometimes this guy's attitude also changes after the fact. There's been times where he was happy about one thing, then a few days later, I regret I ever did it. Maybe he'll regret doing it. I don't know. But I'd love to hear more feedback from you guys on what you think. And I would absolutely consider doing something else for him in the future, just not often, because I don't want it to become so common that it's not special anymore. The reason that worked is because it was a first time ever thing, right? There we go. Okay. So that's that. Let's see what happens. I would love to do more, but let's see what happens. I mean, he has to actually want to respond, and we'll go from there. Okay. Cool. Okay. The one thing I want to talk about before we get to the Capcom topic is currently what's going on in my schedule with all of these playthroughs and everything. Okay. So that you guys know exactly what's happening and what to expect in the next several weeks. All right. We got our first super chat of the day from Derbrocast, €5. He says, nice podcast, keep it up. Thank you. I don't know what the euro conversion is these days. Let's take a look at that. Because that's been all over the place, actually. Up and down recently. So that is $5.79. Thank you to Derbrocast for the first super chat of the day. What is going on currently with all of my playthroughs? Where are we with each game? And how much longer to beat? What's in the rotation now? Why am I not playing other new games? Let's talk about all of this right now. So right now, I have several major playthroughs going on. Hollow Knight Silksong continues. And I know you might be like, what the? I know. The game is that long. Hollow Knight Silksong is an insanely long game. If you go into Act 3 and you do all the content, I'm still going. And it's not like, I'm getting stuck on a part and it's taking me endless amounts of streams to beat. It's not like that at all. Every time I play Silksong, I'm making great progress. It's just the game is that long. A lot of people don't realize that because for what I'm to understand, the vast majority of streamers just quit the game after Act 2 and never played Act 3. They played it for like 20, 25 hours, beat Act 2, and were like, okay, I'm done. Well, that's not the end of the game. That's actually the quick way to beat the game and say, okay, I'm moving on. But you guys wanted more, which I appreciate. The fact that you guys keep coming by, engaging and supporting with Silksong. Every Silksong stream, we hit our goal. I'm not exaggerating. Every single Silksong stream, we've been hitting a support goal. So it's obvious people want me to continue with this game and see the full, ending in Act 3. Now, where are we? Well, we have 2 major areas left that I guess are mini dungeons with bosses at the end. And once you complete those 3 areas, then I guess you unlock the final area of the game, which is the true finale. Okay. But in addition to that, we have one miscellaneous mission where we have to destroy these pockets of like darkness corruption that make the enemies turn evil and stuff. So we've done 2 or 3 of those so far. We still have to do like another 8 or 9. I've been told they're just throughout the world, but I don't know where. I've been walking around looking for them, and I don't really see them that often. Maybe we'll run into more of them today now that we're actively looking for them. I don't know. Or if people know where they are. I'd love, because I want to complete that. You get a mask piece and I get another health increase before we take on the end of the game. So let's see how it goes. But it looks like we're in the home stretch. I would think that if there's only 2 mini dungeons and then bosses at the end left, and then the final finale, maybe 2, 3 streams tops, and we will beat Silksong. I don't know, because again, I'm not spoiling myself. Okay? But it seems like we're at the end. Like we're there. We're right there. And we're ready in position to beat Silksong very soon. Okay? But again, I don't want to rush it. I want to beat it legit and see the end and everything for myself. I don't want to have to skip content or whatever. Okay? Pokemon Legends ZA. This playthrough's now been going on for around 15 hours. It is serving as my staple chill stream in the rotation. When we play Pokemon, there's always exploration, catching of new Pokemon, naming of new Pokemon, always coaching from the chat about how to set up a Pokemon's build or evolve a Pokemon or how to, how you work the game. It's just been great. It's been open, fun, and it's been a lot of relaxation, as opposed to when I'm playing these other games. Silksong is always stressful or whatever. Pokemon's the antithesis of that. It's the ultimate chill game, and it's working because of that. I'm getting people coming by and engaging and supporting and having a great time with it, despite the fact that it seems like the games media and the consensus of major Pokemon fans is that Pokemon Legends ZA sucks. It's like the worst Pokemon game ever. It's working for me as a playthrough dramatically, like really good support and success. So there you go. Okay. Tormented Souls 2. So we now played this game around 3 times, and it is like classic survival horror, okay? You're in a building, half the doors are locked, you have to go around surviving against enemies with more limited fixed camera angles and controls, limited inventory, or not inventory, but limited ammo, and limited healing. It feels like classic Resident Evil and or Silent Hill in a lot of ways. The plot is a little cheesy but creepy at the same time. We actually just finished the first major area, which was the convent. We left the convent, and now we're going out into this city. I don't know how big the city is, but now it's kind of more reminiscent of, say, Resident Evil like 2. Like the first part of the game is almost like Resident Evil 1. Now this next part of the game seems like it's going to be like Resident Evil 2, where you're wandering the city and doing things. So personally, okay, I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm liking the game a lot. It's horror. It's classic vibes. It's difficult. It's not an easy game. The only thing is a lot of people are saying they're bored. And it's like, well, why are you bored? I went into the game explaining to you, this game is a throwback to classic survival horror. So if you think that Tormented Souls 2 is boring, you probably also think Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill 1 and 2 are boring. If you do, then why are you turning into those streams? Shouldn't you be saying, well, I don't like that classic style. I don't like the fixed camera angles, the puzzles. It's boring to me. Okay, but told you what it was up front. And by the way, people had said that they wanted horror, that they were upset that this month I wasn't doing enough horror. So I'm playing a major horror game now. It's the biggest horror release of the month, actually. So I'm happy to be playing it. I just hope that people will actually show up and chill and support it, okay? So right now, like I said, we head into I think the game has like 3 major areas from what I'm to understand. I could be wrong, but we're in the second area now, and I feel like we're around 5 hours in, I think, or are we 7 hours? We're either 5 or 7 hours in. We're probably just around the halfway point, maybe a little not there, but we'll get there tonight. Tonight we're playing it again. We're probably going to get to around the halfway point, but I'll tell you this, it worked well as a night stream. Originally, I played it as a daytime stream, and people were like, it doesn't really work as a day stream. Can you play horror at night? We played it at night on Sunday, and it worked. People liked it as a late-night horror stream, so we're going to keep that going tonight on the late stream, more Tormented Souls 2, okay? American Truck Sim, shockingly enough, is still working. Here we are the end of October. We started playing that game in what was it, April? And we're still playing American Truck Sim. No, I never suspected in a million years this would be the case. I thought that people would have gotten very bored with American Truck Sim by now. But every week when we play it and I pop open an alcoholic beverage, whether it's a seltzer or a cider or whatever it is, and we just sit down and I'm driving around doing deliveries and we're hanging out and talking and having a good time, people seem to love it. So I've actually made the challenge. I said, will this survive the year? Will we keep doing Truck Sim every week? Will people keep showing up, engaging, and supporting to the point where it continues every week? Will it actually make it until 2026? If so, this will be a legendary playthrough at this point. Like, the fact that we're still doing the game after all of that is pretty crazy. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if it continues to be successful. And if Truck Sim makes it to 2026, I'd be shocked. But at the same time, it's working. I'm not going to complain. Okay? So now down to the last one that we got to talk about, Ninja Gaiden 4. All right? Out of all the games that I'm currently playing in the current rotation, I'll admit Ninja Gaiden 4 right now for me is by far the most repetitive and grindy game. Why? Literally, the whole game is combat. Yeah, there's some platforming in there, but it's really an afterthought to break up combat segments. But it's literally just brutal, gory combat, combos. Every once in a while, a parry or a dodge, combos. Okay. I do feel that the pacing of the game is a little off. For example, we found these cliffs. Okay, we're on these cliffs. We have to scale the cliffs. It took like 4 in-game hours to scale the cliffs. Like, what? Why? That's way too long. At most, the cliff should have been like an hour. But no, they really drew it out. You get to the top of the cliffs, then you get thrown to the bottom of the cliffs, then you have to climb the cliffs again. Too many fucking cliffs. I'm bored of this cliff area, okay? And the way the game works, once you complete a major area, you get a new weapon. So first we started with dual swords. That was the whole first area of the game. Then we got a lance, but the lance was for the entire cliffs segment. And because of that, it took so long to beat the cliffs, it felt boring using the lance after a while. Now, we did unlock a new weapon. It's this bow staff, but also it turns into a hammer. It seems all right, but honestly, it seems like it does less damage than the lance did. So it's a little disappointing because it's like good for crowd control. But at the same time, it's kind of like, dude, you have to hit enemies a zillion times for them to die. And these are normal enemies. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be honest. The game is getting repetitive. The game's getting a little boring. I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black earlier in the year. I actually think that was less boring. I actually think this game, maybe they tried to emulate the games of over 10 years ago. Because Ninja Gaiden, there hasn't been a new Ninja Gaiden since Ninja Gaiden 3, and that was over 10 years ago. So obviously this team is trying, can we do what the previous teams did? Well, they're trying, and I'm not saying they're doing a bad job, but it's actually getting boring and repetitive. So last night, I'm playing it, and I'm advancing. It's not like I'm stuck and I'm raging, but I'm advancing, and I'm noticing the chat's starting to get a little bit less interested. People are starting to talk less about the game. Doesn't seem to be that exciting anymore. I agree. It feels like the game's more of a slog at this point. Now, I don't know what the game's going to pick up, and there's going to be more interesting locations and more weapons and things. But right now, it's just kind of, it's so much fucking combat. It's so combat heavy. And that's all the game seems to be. It's just constantly just fucking mashing buttons and beating the shit out of stuff. And how long will that survive in a 2025 playthrough? So here's the thing. We did have a bad and slow night last night when it came to support. We didn't necessarily have a bad or slow night when it came to actual like attendance or engagement, but the support was bad. We only made like $50, you know? I made more on this podcast right now. I actually made double what I made last night during an entire gameplay stream of Ninja Gaiden 4. So again, stands to reason, times when we're hanging out and having good interactions and social fun like this versus the times when I'm on a stream like that. And, oh, by the way, we should be at 3 out of 10 goals, not 2. That's incorrect. Because, let me think about this. Because we did hit a goal for Truck Sim on Monday night. So that was goal number 1 hit, right? And then we hit 2 goals yesterday for Pokemon. We should be at 3 out of 10. I'm glad I just noticed my mistake. I certainly don't want to cheat you guys out of you know, out of the correct amount of support goals hit. So there you go, we fixed it. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what to do about Ninja Gaiden 4. The thing is, that was the first stream that didn't do so well. So what I'd like to do is give it another chance. And we will play Ninja Gaiden 4 again on a late stream next week. Now, if the next time we play Ninja Gaiden 4, the whole audience is complaining the game is boring and we don't get a support, I'm probably just going to drop it. All right? And that's unfortunate, but I think the thing is, maybe it's a game that's just more fun to play than to watch. The action is so nonstop, it's hard for me to interact with you guys much because it's just constant combat. But it is feeling very grindy and repetitive at this point, and we're what, like maybe a third into the game? We're at chapter 9 of 19, okay? So if the pacing stays the same way it's been, as of now, the playthrough's around 8 hours long. So you're talking, this is going to be at least 20 hours. So it's going to be many more streams to beat it. Do I want to commit to that if people don't like it? Let's see what happens next week. All right, let's give it another shot. I don't want to be one of these, hey, the one stream that went poorly, now we cancel it. All right, but is it a one-off bad luck night or is it a pattern? Let's find out. All right, so next week we will play Ninja Gaiden 4 again. But you see the point I'm making here now. We have all those games in the rotation right now. Tomorrow is the premiere of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is all of the classic Mortal Kombat games in one package, including Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate MK3, which was arguably the most competitive Mortal Kombat game ever, Mortal Kombat 4, which also was a busted mess that no one really liked. The collection also includes Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is a game that was console exclusive, but basically it was all of the characters from the original Mortal Kombat Trilogy together in one game. Kind of like how recently I played the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Remember we had Street Fighter Anniversary Edition where it was like original Street Fighter 2 Ryu against like Hyper Fighting Bison, but you could also have like Super Turbo Balrog. So it's that same premise. Different versions of characters pitted against each other. Okay? That's how it is. So also, the game has 2 joke games. It has Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, which infamously was a game that was awful. People hated it because they tried to turn Mortal Kombat into an action platformer, but it just controlled very poorly, and people hated the game. The hilarious part was the original plan was they were going to do more games based on each character in Mortal Kombat and do their own spin-off, but it just didn't go well. So after Mythologies, they canceled them all. It also has a game called Mortal Kombat Special Forces. This is supposed to be a game based around Jax and Sonya's Special Forces crew. They go off to do their own mission, and it's like almost like this top-down shooter game with combat mechanics and beat-em-up stuff. So that's in there too. Eventually, I might get to those. I might give them a shot just for a laugh and to see what they are. But obviously, the major focus for me is going to be the fighting games. And so I think tomorrow what we'll do, we'll explore this collection and we'll see exactly what's available in it. And we'll maybe do like an arcade run in Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, maybe Ultimate 3. Maybe we'll check out 4. And then I want to go online and play some people, okay? Maybe I don't even care what game, any of them, right? Just to play, do some online play. So tomorrow, the entire day, first and second stream, we're going to be exploring the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. There's a lot of content in there to explore, and I'm willing to do whatever you guys want, during the course of tomorrow for the release of that game, okay? Whatever content you want covered, we'll cover in that game. Now, Friday is the Halloween Marathon. Friday, we're playing 8 different horror games. I'll be in costume. I'll be drinking booze. I have 2 kinds of booze. I have a Day of the Dead themed tequila, and I have a brand new product, blackberry flavored Jack Daniels. They just released this. It's brand spanking new. So I'll have 2 kinds of liquor to drink for milestones of support that I receive on Friday. And there's also going to be a very special edition of DSP Tries It, where I'm going to be trying out 2 different themed Halloween snacks. That'll be very interesting. Are the snacks good or are they terrible? We'll find out live. I'll give them a go. and we'll see if they taste good. That'll be fun. Plus, actually, we're also going to have some food. We're probably going to just order out that day. So it won't be an official DSP Tries It taste testing. It'll be like a feasting with the king for Halloween. Okay. It should be fun. Anyway, so all day Friday, Halloween marathon. Great opportunity to come by, just hang out with me all day long, chill, have a good time, say hello, watch me play a horror game or two, support the stream. I'm really hoping, honestly, that on Friday, we can get a rallying of kick support and we can actually get back some of these subs that I've lost. Because I lost a tremendous amount of subs over the 2 days that I had off. We did make a few of those back, but now the momentum has sputtered again. And now we're in a situation where we're going back down again because I'm not getting consistent sub support on Kick. So, again, if you're watching on Kick, please support the stream. Can we get our first sub of the day? This is what happened last night when I was playing Ninja Gaiden 4. So everyone basically was spamming either emotes or these moral support messages, and almost no one supported the stream. So that's why we had a bad night on Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean, you're watching, you're there, you're engaged, but you don't want to support. Well, then you're not going to get the things you want. Like I was being nice yesterday when I brought back the moral support messages. I said, I'm going to do everyone on Kick a favor. Since I've gotten Kick support, I'm going to add these messages back because people are saying they want them back. Do people reciprocate? No. No, not at all. Dominic just did a $10 super chat and says, do you follow chess? I'm heartbroken about Naroditsky. I do not follow chess. Let me put it this way. Do I know how to play chess? Kind of. I used to play it when I was young. I haven't played it regularly in 100 years. I don't follow anything about a chess community or anything that you're talking about. So I actually have no idea what you're even referencing. I think I did casually see a news article recently saying that someone who had been like a high-level chess player had passed away. And if that's what you're referencing, I get it. And that's sad, obviously. It really is. But I'm not in the know about chess to do a shout-out about that or anything. Princess Luna just gifted the first membership of the day. So we have our first membership from Princess Luna. Thank you so much, Princess. All right. So we have about 15, 20 minutes left on the show. Like I said, rather than cover the Capcom story, which we can cover at any time, that doesn't need to be covered now. We could very well just cover that on a later podcast. Let's open up the chat. Let's open up to Q&A, a little bit of back and forth. I would love to hear your feedback on how things are going. Let's hear feedback on Wings. Let's hear feedback on the schedule. Let's hear feedback on everything. What do you guys want to talk about? Let's get a little bit of Q&A going. Tag me in the chat. What's going on, Gumbercules? What a name, Gumbercules. How are you? You're loving the schedule, says Stuberto. You're loving it. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're enjoying everything in the schedule. Personally, I'm liking everything I'm doing. Every game currently that I'm playing, I actually am enjoying. I don't feel like anything is overly boring or too much of a slog. Things are chill and fun. I'm having a good time. No, I don't play grindy ARPGs at all, actually. There was a time, like back in the day, I liked this game. It was called Dungeon Siege. I played that one a while. When I was young, I played the Diablo series, but I don't play that stuff anymore. Abdullah says, what platform are you going to get the MK collection on? Interesting question. Let's see here. It's not available on Loaded, which is surprising. Is it even on? It probably isn't even on Steam yet. Here it is. Okay, on Steam currently, it's going for $45, but it says the offer ends in 17 hours. Well, I'm going to buy it within 17 hours. So likely, I'll get it on PC. But if it ends up that the PS5 version seems to be the more favorable version, I wouldn't be opposed to getting the PS5 version too. But probably day one, I'll get it on PC. Would I buy a robot for $20,000 that requires you to waive your privacy rights, but it does chores in the house? No. Am I going to play Metroid Prime 4 with a mouse? I'm going to attempt to use the Wiimote, not the Wiimote. I keep calling it the Wiimote. I'm going to attempt to use the Joy-Cons, right? Which apparently have a built-in mouse functionality to aim and fire. We're going to see how it works. So that would be my first opportunity to actually use the Joy-Cons as that kind of a controller. You should play Arc Raiders. No. I should not play Arc Raiders. It's not my kind of game. Again, Arc Raiders is the kind of game for the grindy FPS player who all they do is they sit with the sweats and they try to get very competitively good at the game and they sit there with a team and they're trying to succeed. It's nothing to do with me. Nothing at all of my style of content. What character will I play first as? Well, it depends on the game. For example, Mortal Kombat 1, maybe I play with like Scorpion, maybe Kano. Mortal Kombat 2, there's only 2 characters. There's Melina and there's Jax. I'm serious. They're the only 2 viable characters in the game. Maybe Shang Tsung because he's kind of funny because he could transform into everyone. Mortal Kombat 3, I did use a wider variety of characters when I played it. My best character was always Cyrax, but maybe I'll play others as well. I used to play with Cyrax, Robot Smoke, Cabal, Striker. Who else did I use in that? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. I can't remember who I was actually using in the game. But those would be the characters. Mortal Kombat 4 is ass. The only character I think I ever used in that game was like Raiden. So we'll see. No, I don't remember the fatalities. I don't even know if I'll care about the fatalities, honestly. It's more about playing the game competitively than caring about, the stupid fatality, which is just, they're really jokes in that game, right? Thoughts on Battlefield Battle Royale review bombing? People hate it. I don't know anything about it. I don't care about Battle Royale in Battlefield. I don't care about regular Battlefield, so it really doesn't affect me. Oh, I know what Baby Steps is. I know exactly what Baby Steps is. That could be a fun game. I'm shocked that no one really wanted that for Halloween. I thought people would want that game for Halloween, and no one asked for it. How many actual messages did Wings and I exchange since the podcast? I sent him one. He sent me one. I sent him one. He sent me one, and I sent him one. There you go. So what would that? How many exchanges is that? Is that 5 or is that 2? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Never played Werewolf on the NES. No, I don't know what that is. I never said you couldn't nominate non-horror games. I said horror games would be preferred for the Halloween marathon, but I never said you could not nominate a non-horror game. That's not true at all. Okay, so in regards to some of the games that I'm not playing, because Stuart just says, are we skipping Outer Worlds 2? So there's 2 games that just came out. Outer Worlds 2 comes out today. This batch apparently just came out. Outer Worlds 2, obviously the follow-up to the Obsidian game from several years ago. Open world, first-person RPG, lots of narrative trees, companions, lots of gunplay. Think Fallout / Elder Scroll hybrid style of game, but in space. That's basically Outer Worlds, 1, and that's what this one is. Am I interested in it? Yes. Can I play it now? Absolutely not. I'm already juggling too many games. I can't play that right now. So what I'd like to do is keep playing the games I'm playing for the next couple of weeks. Let's see how things go with each current playthrough. If I start to finish up games, for example, if I complete Silksong, if I finish either Tormented Souls 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, which are probably the next ones I'm finishing, then we can say what's next. And if you guys want to see Outer Worlds 2, I am down for it, 100%. It's up to you guys. It's on Game Pass. It's no risk to me, but I can't play it now. There's no way I could fit it in the schedule when I'm already playing so many other games. Dispatch apparently is a narrative-based game in the style of old-school Telltale games. I guess the premise is that superheroes actually have formed a policing service, and there's a dispatch. You call in, they dispatch out a hero to save you from whatever's currently going on. So instead of sending the cops to your house, they send like a superhero to your house to save the day. I don't know much about it outside of that. So people are saying that it's actually quite good, that it's a really good narrative, and I guess your choices matter in the game. Would I be interested in that? Sure. Can't do it now, but maybe down the line. Again, it looks like November, no exaggeration, is a dead month except for Call of Duty. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe there are games coming out, but I just haven't looked at the schedule recently, and I'm not aware. But from what I saw looking at the schedule, it looked like pretty much the only major release in November is Call of Duty. So that means we could maybe try these other games out after we get some other playthroughs done. Okay? Oh, that's Sinful Rhapsody. When does that come out? I'll look it up right now. There is a actual Hyrule Warriors game coming out. Let me find that. What's it called? Age of Imprisonment. November 6th. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Let's get that on my schedule. I had no clue. I actually thought that was a freaking expansion. I did. I totally thought Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment was just an expansion for the old Hyrule Warriors. It's not. It's its own standalone game. But the problem is, I have no clue if you guys are going to like it or not. If you don't know, what is Hyrule Warriors? It is a hybrid between Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. It's the same exact kind of game where you play as heroes and you go out and you kill insane groups of units using combos and super attacks and stuff. Now, being that it's on the Switch too, if it runs well, it could be gorgeous. All right, it could be like a really good visually appealing game. But it's an insanely repetitive, grindy game. Very, very repetitive and just to the point where you have to be like understanding 99% of the time you're mashing buttons and doing combos. Okay. If we're already playing a game full of combat called Ninja Gaiden 4, that people are saying is boring because it's repetitive combat, I don't know how that's going to do better. But maybe I'm wrong. If you convince me, it's another one for November. Fair enough. Thank you to your future stepdad. Your future stepdad just gifted a sub on Kick. And by the way, anyone else have any questions or anything, any Q&A for the end of the show? Because we're coming to the end of the show right now. So any last minute stuff you guys would like to discuss? By the way, no podcast tomorrow. We're just going to do Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection all day. And no podcast Friday, because Friday is the Halloween marathon. There will be like a costume reveal and a little build up, but there's not a formal podcast on Friday. Okay? How many hours would I say I average a week playing games? I have no idea. I legit have no idea. You'd have to figure it out, but in general, a day stream can be as little as 2 hours of gameplay, but can be as much as 4 hours of gameplay. A night stream usually averages around 2 hours. So let's say 6 hours a day that I stream. And then it depends how many days a week I stream. Most weeks I stream 6 days. Some weeks I stream 5. So, do the math there. Abdullah, I just said with this collection, the Mortal Kombat collection, I think when we boot it up at first, we should just play each game once, going through, say, arcade mode, to test gameplay mechanics, graphics, responsiveness of controls, seeing how it works, with the final bosses and stuff. So beat Mortal Kombat 1 once, 2 once, 3 once, Ultimate once, maybe 4 once, and then maybe take the games online. But at least then we get to see each game, Yeah, I mean, for online, honestly, I don't know if I would ever play Mortal Kombat 1 online. Mortal Kombat 2 is a funny game because there's 2 characters. That's it. I keep saying that, but I mean it. There's only 2 characters that you can play competitively in Mortal Kombat 2. So, maybe I would play that a couple times just to show you how busted it is. Mortal Kombat 3, you don't really need to play because then Ultimate 3 is better. Like, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is way better than regular 3. So, in that regard, I think I would just probably go right to Ultimate for the online play. I agree with you. But I think a lot of people are going to want to play Trilogy. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is the console-only game that has all of the characters from 1, 2, and 3 in it. And that could be really interesting to see how that works. I don't remember how broken that game was because that game was never really played in tournaments. So I don't know if anyone even played it competitively to know if it was broken or not. I remember it being pretty broken. Like, you could play as all the bosses and shit. So I don't even know how it's going to work. It would be pretty neat to fight against the bosses and stuff. I know of GOG. I never really gotten anything off of it besides Fallout 4 because I had to get it on GOG to mod it to make Fallout London. But that's the only thing I think I ever bought on there. Your future stepdad just gifted another sub. So that's going to now get him on the leaderboard. That's going to usurp Most Tasteless. Will I register for the Invincible versus closed beta? I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that there was an Invincible closed beta. It's a closed alpha. Here it is. It's only available on Xbox Series X and S and PS5. It is not available for PC. Oh, to hell with this. I'm not even kidding you. You can't even just do it. They want you to have link your Discord account to it. I'm never doing that. What a bunch of fucking idiots. The only way you can play in the closed alpha for Invincible, you need to link your Discord account. Well, I don't want anyone fucking with my Discord account, so that's not happening. So they can kiss my ass. What a bunch of fucking morons. They're trying to farm your fucking social media information with the fucking alpha, if you can believe it. That's incredibly stupid. And if you don't have a Discord, they make you make one. I'm not making a fake Discord for them. Fuck off. No, they don't have to link your Discord. All they need, for example, if it's only on Xbox or PlayStation, all they should need is your account there. And they don't even ask for that. They say, oh, link your Discord. That's the only way to get in. Fuck off. I'm not going to give you my shit. You go fuck yourself. So no, I won't be playing that. It's their fault. What a bunch of fucking idiots. Oh, is this a new membership? It is. I got a new membership from Be Nerdy here on YouTube. Thank you to Be Nerdy for the membership. Alex from Phoenix just did a $5 super chat. Did you talk about the whole Xbox ordeal? Their next console priced at over $1,000 with a joke they want to go out of business. Their next console there's no information about pricing. It's nonsense. What they're saying is they want their next console to be a powered machine similar to a PC, yet they're claiming it's still going to be a console. I don't think so. I think what it's going to be, there will be an Xbox, but the Xbox will literally be an underpowered PC that's sold at a discount rather than an actual like gaming PC experience that's fully fledged. That's what I think. But pricing, there's no pricing or anything available yet. It doesn't even exist yet. Thank you for the $5. And then we have Lord Tipton Cashmore, the 6th, with a $1 super sticker. Well, before you say, why would anyone buy that Xbox branded console? Just buy a PC. You have to understand that a ton of people just bought the Xbox ROG Ally X that just came out. Why? I don't know. You could have bought a handheld PC like that before that one existed with the same features, probably for cheaper. But because this one's Xbox branded and has the Xbox app in it, they charged more and people paid more. It's not, I don't even think you could justify it. They just did. They said, I'll pay more. So Bruce did a $2 super chat, says thoughts on Arc Raiders. Yeah, Arc Raiders essentially is not my kind of game, right? It's an extraction shooter or whatever they call it. Nothing to do with the kind of gameplay that I excel at, or that people enjoy seeing from me. Also, wouldn't be the kind of game I'd be able to interact with my audience, so I'm skipping it. It doesn't really affect me. And then Be Nerdy did a $3 super chat and said, here you go. So we've done it, folks. Just like that. We have hit our goal for the stream, and officially, we are now at 4 out of 10. Thank you for supporting my content. Thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you. I got more coming in. Thank you guys for everything. You're amazing. Positivity, the fun has begun. I'm excited. Full day of streaming today of various games. Tomorrow, Mortal Kombat. We got Halloween right around the corner. We got an awesome November lined up. We got Christmas on deck. It's time. It's the best time of year for games, for goodness sake, isn't it? It really is. And I really enjoy, I really enjoy hanging out with you guys here every day on stream. Thank you so much. Princess Luna also did a $5 super chat and said, happy spooky season. Thank you to Princess Luna for that. Really appreciate you guys. All right. So thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for the Level 1 podcast for October. I hope you enjoyed the episodes. I'll be coming back with the show on Sunday. Tomorrow, no show because we're doing Mortal Kombat. Friday, no show because we're doing the Halloween Marathon. But I'll be back on Sunday. Thank you all for watching the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you have enjoyed the spooky season here with me on DSP Gaming. I wish you the best. I hope you'll still be here over the next couple of days to hang out with me on the shows. But the show will officially return on Sunday morning for more fun and epic adventures. Thank you guys so much. I will see you all Sunday. Peace out.